All right, here's the defensive tackles. The first one on the list is Osa Odigizua. Did I get it, Shaq? All right. So current team's the Dallas Cowboys, 26 years old, 6'2", 280. He had the second most snap counts out of any defensive tackle in the NFL. So this guy's battle tested. According to PFF, he was the 11th best pass rusher. Run defense leaves something to be desired, but overall, solid. 7 sacks from the defensive tackle position. Definitely something we've been missing. I don't know if we had 7 sacks from the defensive tackles on our whole team.
So I would say yes if there wasn't so many guards in free agency to pay him, because he's supposed to be an up and coming defensive tackle, and what he does best is provide pass rush. He doesn't give much in the run game, but he's definitely a good pass rusher in the interior. I just can't get with his 2022 million because I'm trying to go sign offensive line.
I would say yes if it wasn't for the fact that Jahmyr Gibbs was in our division.
So, Fish, are you looking for a defensive tackle that's going to stop the run more than you're looking for a guy that's going to rush the quarterback?
I'm looking for somebody who's a little bit better of a blend.
Okay. That's fair.
Answer.
I mean, I love the pass rushing. I do. But I just want somebody who's a little bit better. They ain't got to be like top 10 in against the pass. If they could be like top 18 in the pass and say top 20 against the run right in there, that's kind of where I'm looking for.
Okay. So this guy's considered to be the number 1 defensive tackle available in free agency. What do you got, Cody?
I mean, so you're getting Osa and you're afraid of Gibbs. Gibbs is an outside zone runner. He runs the boundaries. He takes off the tackle. If you get Osa, it doesn't matter I don't think it matters any defensive tackle trying to stop Gibbs. Gibbs probably runs it up the middle. What was the percentage last year? I could probably say every time he's handed the ball, he probably runs it at a 22% clip in the middle. The rest of it's 78% on the outside. So for defensive tackle, I would rather pay up a boatload to get a guy for interior pass rush than to think about stopping Gibbs, because I know Gibbs is only going to run up the middle 22% of the time.
Question for you, Cody. Is he a defensive tackle or a nose tackle?
I don't care what he is. He puts up the pressure.
Well, you should, because you're talking like he's a nose tackle. He's going to be lining up in between the guard and the tackle. He's going to be responsible for Gibbs and preventing him from being able to.
He's a 3 tech. So that's why Steven, nothing changes with Harrison Phillips in this situation because he's a 3 tech. Right now we have Harrison Phillips as our nose. The ideal situation would be to get a nose tackle and put Harrison into the 3 tech because that's where his natural position is. But there's really not a lot of nose tackles available. That we'll get to a couple here. I think I'm out. Just because of the price.
I think our run defense up the middle was really good off the guards in the center. If you want to stop that outside, I mean, we talked about him earlier, and I don't want to keep bringing him up. Throw Myles Garrett on it. I'm just saying. You get Myles Garrett for $5 million more.
Okay. Well, he's not a free agent. Next, Milton Williams. This guy's becoming a hot name. If you would have asked people about Milton Williams 5 weeks ago, they'd be who? But he actually had a pretty good Super Bowl. What do you have? The strip sack, fumble, and the recovery on that one.
Wow, so Milton Williams even a bigger spread than the last guy.
He is, but the second overall pass rusher and the 31st overall as a defensive tackle. So he's 6'3", 290. He's only 25 years old. He'll be 26 when the season started, but the guy doesn't have a lot of run. He's only played 500 snaps last year because he's got Davis ahead of him, and he's got
Jalen
Carter. So he has them ahead of him. So this is where teams come up that didn't draft a guy. They get a guy who's showing out, but he's playing behind people, and now his rookie contract's up. This is where you come up on somebody. So that's why I like this. I've seen the salary estimated 20 to 22 million. I've also seen it like 15 to 17 million. So I really don't know where it's at. I do think it's going to be more than 15 to 17. I don't know exactly if it's going to be 20 or 22, but I'd be way more interested in Milton Williams and Osa just because of his potential. And it's like a sleeping giant. He only had 500 snaps, but 6 sacks from the defensive tackle position.
You know what that reminded me of? Last year,
Uh-oh.
when the Ravens re-signed Justin Matabuke, he didn't really get to shine because he had other defensive tackles and players in front of him. So he kind of ran out his rookie contract. But when he started getting more reps and he showed that he could be an elite starter, they paid him ahead of time. Off of just having a good 2 years. I just can't sign a defensive tackle for that price range because I want guards. I want that money to go to the offensive line.
Did we forget to mention the salary cap is going up by about $22 million more than we expected it to go up? So
Hey,
we're
when-
going to
so
have
we're
like
saying
$70 million to play with.
My thing with
Okay, we're going to have $70 million.
with BK, what is BK's stats this year after signing that big contract?
I think it dropped.
It dropped a lot, right? I mean, it's good to see a player like this explode, but it's not good to see it when the double team is going against Jalen Carter and you're no longer one-on-one. When you become the best defensive tackle on your team because you're the highest paid guy, and then you start being double teamed, are you going to break through? Or are you just going to be another Albert Hainsworth?
Codyism.
Let's ask Jalen Redmond that question in about 2 years.
That's who I want to keep with. I'm staying with Jalen.
So on this panel, who's in on Milton Williams? Because I'm in. Am I riding solo here?
I'm on the bubble because I'd be betraying what I just said about in the first guy. Not even going to try to butcher his name. But I was interested in him a couple of weeks ago.
I'm window shopping. I'm watching you want him. I'm like, ooh, that's nice, but no.
That's a good way to put it. Come on, Steven. I respect your opinion, so this hurts.
I just think you get the same amount of value from a different player below him just because he was on such a good defensive line for the Eagles. I think you can get the same production from – I know Levi Owens-Enrique is not going to get double-teamed.
All right. The next one got Levi from the Detroit Lions.
See,
It's kind of the same situation as Milton. Like he's starting to ascend, but now his rookie contract's over. Are you going to jump in and, take a guy who has high potential? Because he really didn't do too much his first 3 years, but he had a nice season last year.
this guy's starting to fit more in that category I'm looking.
Mm-hmm.
And the money's right, too.
Mm-hmm. You talking my language, Fish. I was just thinking 8 to 10 million, and we could just. I'm pretty sure he could give us better production than Bullard and Tillery did last year for us.
Top 20% of the league in both categories.
Throw him into our
Yeah.
rotation.
I don't know if he pushes the envelope for me. I really don't. I want to splash. I like that. I like that.
I just remember when Levi came out in the draft, there's a lot of Vikings fans that wanted this guy. And what round did he go? I think, was it third or second? Third round?
Second round.
And everybody wanted this guy. Like this was the guy for us to get. And it matched up with all the other podcasters. It was Levi Owens-Enrique. It was almost like a
he said it.
The Amon-Ra St. Brown pick. Like a lot of us wanted Amon-Ra for that wide receiver 2 slot or that wide receiver 3 slot. And this is that guy. I'm a full believer in Levi Owens-Enrique. His defensive line was Aiden Hutchinson, him, and then he had Liam McNeil, which was another guy that we wanted as Vikings fans. It was the lean, mean McNeil, whatever you want to call him. I think Levi Owens-Enrique, for the money, is the best defensive tackle on this list.
So that's one of our other options. And then we got another guy. No, I don't know. Does he play nose tackle or not? I don't think he does. But I do know that Nick Mullins threw an interception to him right before halftime of a game, which was a very smart move by Nick Mullins, by the way.
Woo, that guy's pretty good against the run.
Yep.
So yes, we got BJ Hill, Cincinnati Bengals, 29 years old, 6'3", 311 pounds, so a little bit of a bigger boy, 710 snaps, battle tested. So he's a little more of that mix you're looking for, Fish. He's a pass rush and run defense, a little more on the run side. But overall, 30 out of 219. I like it. Only 3 sacks, but 39 tackles. 39 tackles is actually a lot for a defensive tackle. That's 8th overall for defensive tackles, so that's cool. I like it. He's a veteran. He's solid. Be a very solid presence. Put him there with Harrison Phillips and maybe Jalen Redmond. Probably pretty solid. I want a pass rusher, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's got just as many sacks as Levi right now. Levi had 3 sacks. He had 3 sacks.
Yeah, well, I want a Milton. He has 6.
I know you do.
BJ,
I want a pass rusher, but I would not be mad with this. I wouldn't be mad with this.
I like BJ Hill too. I think what the Lions did with DJ Reader, I think the same team came from the same Cincinnati Bengals team. I think that would be his more of a fit. He's a more of a DJ Reader for the Lions than he would be a perennial inside pass rusher or a big old run stopping guy every single down. I just think he's just another DJ Reader. Like you won't see him all 3 downs in the game on a particular series, but you'll probably see him twice, I think, on the field.
I don't know. I mean, he's the 18th most snaps. I think you're going to see him out there 3 downs.
Yeah.
Does the age bug you guys at all? It's weird that we're talking about 29-year-olds being old when we're all older than that.
Hell no, the age don't bother me because we were just talking about giving up a house to get a 29-year-old Myles Garrett. Mm-hmm. And Myles Garrett's more of an edge rusher than a defensive tackle, and defensive tackles have more longevity.
Well, I'm glad the age doesn't bother you, Fish.
Bring him! My man!
Calais Campbell, the ageless wonder, 38
what is that
years
run
old.
Defense ranking?
Look at all the rankings.
What is that run defense ranking?
Well, that's
number 1, Fish.
That's what happens when you get an all-pro. Wasn't he defensive player of the year once too?
Wait just a minute.
Nominated.
I don't know. He's played since before you were born, Cody. There's a lot of seasons.
That man played the 36 most snaps of all the defensive tackles.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 run defense, number 7 overall. Oh my gosh, he's testing what I've said about balance.
That's what you get when you pick.
But I'll tell you what, Keith.
Get 5 sacks.
Shake on it. Let's get Campbell and Milton.
Okay. I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in. Yeah, shake on that for sure. Because you're talking 3 to 5 million. Bob Sweet, I get it. 38 years old. Fuck no. Because guess what? He'll be 39 when the season starts. So I get it. But dude, look at this. He had 5 sacks from the defensive tackle position, and he's the number 1 run stopper from the defensive tackle position.
He might retire.
Obviously, no. Like he might. Okay, so what I see Calais Campbell, I don't think he retires, to be honest with you. But I don't think he signs until he finds a playoff team to sign with later in the season.
It's crazy.
He wants a Super Bowl. He wanted the Dolphins to cut him at the end of the year so he can go latch onto a playoff team. And the Dolphins won again. They shouldn't have won. Kind of kept them in contention, so they couldn't do it. So I do think he ends up playing, but not till at least midway through the season. But if for some reason he wants to play a full season, I am absolutely doing this. Like, this can't be the only one we sign. Like, we're gonna need 2 defensive tackles if this happens. But come on. It'd be fun.
Depth, come on, look at that. That man played a full damn season last year for the Dolphins.
Yeah. I mean, he's always been good, though. That's like Calais Campbell has always been good. Milton, 1 year. All these guys on this list is all 1 year. Like, why would you gamble so much money on a guy that's only played 1 year when you get to do this when playing good for his whole career?
I just think it's funny people look at his age and saying no, but not looking at what he did at that age. It's like, oh no, he's old. Never mind.
Go down to that 39 tackle stat. What'd you say about that for who was it? BJ Hill?
Yes, he tied him.
39 tackles, 8th in the league at a defensive tackle.
10 years
Signed
older.
him up twice. Sign him up twice. I now love I liked it. I was a fan of it. I want him. I ain't gonna stop till the Vikings get him. I'm putting a strongly worded letter to Kwesi.
Steven, I would like to know what makes Levi number one on your free agent board. Go ahead, Shaq.
I signed Calais Campbell for another reason. Like I was talking about, if Deion Walker so happened to fall for us in the draft, redraft Deion Walker and have Calais Campbell be his mentor to reaching that step of being an elite defensive tackle. People forget, like, these old players, they've been in the league. They know all the nuances that you can't really learn from the combine. You get all these tricks to the NFL from these older players. And Calais Campbell, like Cody was saying, he's played at a high level for a long time. And he's been around the NFL. So pair him up with a young defensive tackle who needs some guidance, and boom. Killing two birds with one stone. And he's only $3 to $5 million.
I tell you what, if he's like, I want to retire, I'd throw $7 million at this man just to unretire him and say play.
I'm a fan of this signing if it's like a secondary signing. Like if this is the only defensive tackle we brought in, I'd probably not love it as much. But look at the dude, 6'8". Damn, that guy's a monster.
Would you guys be excited about this if we signed Calais Campbell to the $3 million, then you went and got Myles Garrett the line next to him?
Oh my God! Is Myles Garrett becoming a Codyism like in one night? Yes. Is this happening?
You bring Myles Garrett.
I can't fault Cody for this because I want Myles Garrett. So I can't say nothing.
Woo!
Can't argue with that, Steven. All right, yeah, I'm down. All right, so that was fun. I think we'd all be happy if we ended up getting him, but like I said, it can't be the marquee signing. Another guy, is it Jaron Reed or Jaron Reed? I really don't know. I don't know much about him. I just really don't. But he is a free agent. Maybe Stephen Watson could school me in the comments. But he's a guy who's out there. He had 4 sacks from the defensive tackle position. Apparently, he's a good pass rusher himself. But at $5 to $7 million, I'm going to Calais.
I'm going to Calais.
Yeah, he's a steady guy. He's a guy that you won't be disappointed in, and you won't be shocked over when he goes off. And you're just like, yeah, it's Jaron Reed, steady guy.
Steady, hard work. So when I did do a little bit of research on him, he's a team builder. He's a team guy. He's a team first guy. He's that guy that's giving the speech about the team. We did this as a team. He's the one motivating. And I like that. That actually does do something for me. But at the price range, I'm still going Calais. So I think me and Stephen Watson got nothing in common. I don't think he likes spending a lot of money either, because everything he's talked about has been about the dollar value.
I mean, Stephen makes a good point. Like, yeah, sign Jaron Reed and Calais Campbell, or Jaron Reed and Levi, or mix in with Calais Campbell and Levi, because you know what you're doing in offseason is you're trying to protect JJ McCarthy. So a lot of the money is going to that guard.
So we'll leave this guy. He might be like a second waiver. The next 2 guys I have, they're coming from the same team, and they're nose tackles.
Yes.
Fish. Check the size on this first one. It's kind of funny, but he's pretty good. So Poona Ford, Los Angeles Chargers, 29 years old, 5'11", 310 pounds.
That dude's a fire hydrant. But I will tell you something, that 32nd in the pass rush and 7th in run defense.
That's speaking your language.
I love it. I mean, it's a little less blendy than I want, but I'm also looking at the money. Dude, I love it. I love this. I love it, man. 5'11", 310. He ain't getting moved nowhere.
You know what? Like, I like to look at, like, when we sign a guy or we trade for a guy, it's what their fans are saying about it. Charger fans don't want to lose this guy.
Mm-mm.
They like the lot of comments I've seen, the most underrated player on that team. To me, that's a Kwesi signing, first of all. But that's someone I'm definitely interested in, and he's a nose tackle. So now you're kicking Phillips out to his natural position, and you got a guy in the middle who can both pass rush and stop the run. $4 to $6 million? I am
Ain't nobody
definitely
getting under
interested
his
in this.
pads.
Yeah. Give me
An
him over
extremely
Milton
wide fire
Williams.
hydrant.
Give me him over Milton Williams.
Yeah, I would say that too, just because
How about him and Milton Williams?
the way the running game has changed. It's no longer in between the tackles as much. It's literally outside the tackles. That's where you're running. And for him being 5'11", he can get between the guard and tackle, or he can get between the guard and center, right, and push that run to the outside. And I think that's why he has a great PFF score for a defensive tackle this year.
Ain't
And I think the
nobody
only
gonna
reason-
see him coming.
I think the only reason Puna Ford became available to the Chargers because he kind of had a down season with the Seahawks because they moved him to a 3 tech. And then Pete Carroll came out and said, you know what, I made a mistake. Should have never done that. So this guy is a true nose tackle. Even though 5'11", dude's a bowling ball. Get it in my
This is-
belly.
This is Jerome Bettis on the defensive line right here, man. I love it.
Mm-hmm. And it
I
kind of
love that.
It kind of makes sense for how Flores plays defense too, because what Flores wants on the defensive line is for you, if you're a defender on the D line, is take away that block, right? So 1-on-1, bang bang, hat on hat, then you can send your 4 to stop the run, the 4 linebackers against the 2, right? So it's pretty believable situation is signing Puna Ford.
I'm in love with it, to be honest with you. But again, like I said about Calais Campbell, I want him and another guy. Like, because now you got Puna, Harrison Phillips, and Milton Williams. I love that line.
Mm-hmm.
So the other guy I said that was on the Chargers, guy's been on a few teams, guy's got some problems. Guy kind of ruined Bradbury's career. Tierra Tart, who I was kind of screaming for last year in the offseason. Guy's a problem, though. He's got a little bit of toxicity to him, but he's a baller when he's on the field. He's 27 years old, 304, 6'2". Fish, how do you like those splits?
That's a nice blend right there, man. That is a really nice blend. And obviously, he's got to reclaim his career looking at the expected salary. 1 sack, 349, 20 tackles, though, on 349 snaps is really good.
It is.
That's a really good ratio. But, yeah, there's nobody on our team that could actually put him in check. I'll be doing that tomorrow, E.
So you saying Will Riker can't put him in check?
Who?
Will Riker might be able to. Ricard. I said it a few times, bro. It's Riker.
Shaq
sorry, I
obviously
have to
grew
watch
up
this
watching that
overtime.
Star Trek show with Captain John Picard.
I'm trying to watch this overtime, but what do you mean? What does Phillips do besides make $10 million? Phillips is a pretty damn good player. He's just not supposed to be a nose tackle. I would like to see him in his natural position. So if we could sign a Puna Ford or a Tierra Tart, then he gets to play in that natural spot. But we also have to sign another defensive tackle.
I'm going to tell you right now, if
distracted.
I had my choice, I want Puna Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me
he's
too.
29.
But I would take Tierra Tart, like, because he's going to be a
I wouldn't
nose
be
tackle.
mad.
And I said earlier, he's the guy that kind of ruined Bradbury's career because we didn't really complain about Bradbury until that clip in, I don't know, it was 2022 or 2023 when they had a joint practice with the Titans and he just forklifted him and threw him to the side. And that was just like a viral clip. And that's when everybody started being like, man, Bradbury kind of sucked. Man, he is really
He's small. He get in trouble.
Yeah. Like when that happened, that's when like the Bradbury went like.
If you're going to push Harrison Phillips to his natural position, and we know we got Jalen Redmond, go sign one of the bigger guys.